Hi everyone, welcome to Erudition Show. I'm Shogani Agreement. Here I am with Justice Sambo and our guest. I'll give my host an opportunity to introduce her. Today our episode is focused on inspiration, or rather to provide clarity to people out there. Justice, you wanna introduce our guest?
Thank you, Agreement, for that wonderful introduction. My name is Justice Sambo. I would like to welcome you guys to another exciting episode of the Erudition Show. It's been awesome. We have had I think 4 episodes so far, and the response has just been great. We would love to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for those comments. Thank you for engaging with us. We really love you so much. My team and my crew just wants to send regards to you guys. Otherwise, we are joined today by a wonderful, beautiful guest of ours, Ipeleng Nyatlo. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
That's good.
Thank you so much. Ipeleng is a basketball player. She plays for the Vets basketball team. She has played for the national senior team at age 16. Right, and she's in the choir at her church. She's a vet student. Inspiring episodes today. As my co-host has mentioned, that today it's all about inspiration, sending out inspiration to you guys, to you viewers. I mean, to us also. We want to learn more and about your life, and just to get inspired about the things that you do, especially with regards to basketball, playing for a whole, South Africa national team. You know, that's inspiring to us. Playing for Vets, being, I don't know if you can attest to that, but being something that we call great, you know, being a great player. So we just wanna hear your story. How are you feeling today, by the way?
I'm good, thank you for asking, and thank you for having me on the show.
Just a brief about yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from? What's your life story? Would you share with our viewers out there?
Okay, first start, as you said, my name is Ipeleng Nyatlo, and I'm studying here in the University of Wits. I am from Rustenburg in the Northwest Province, and yeah.
So Ipeleng, do you mind telling us about your basketball journey? Like, when did you discover that you have this talent of playing basketball? When were you discovered, if you were discovered? When did it start? How did it start? What happened in that journey? Just share with us a brief about all your journey in that.
Well, I had always played, I grew up playing sports throughout. I started with soccer, and I played it from 3rd grade till 6th grade, and the reason I stopped playing was because most of the time I was the only female amongst boys, and they would have tournaments and I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So then I joined athletics, and then that's what I was doing what they call cross country, and I would, from my 4th grade till 8th grade, I would go to the nationals with cross country. But then when I was in 7th grade, after the whole season of cross country, I kind of ran out of things to do. So one time my one friend went to a basketball, they told me that they're not gonna go home with me as the usual, we take the same route home. So I was keen to know why were they not going home with me. So I was like, let me just go check it out. And when I went there, I loved what I saw. So I was just like, okay, let me just join for a day. And then it started being a thing of, it became more frequent. And I started loving it. And that's how it started. And okay, that was my first year. That was in 2011. And then we played a couple of games for the school, and then second year came on my 8th grade, and they made me the team captain. So I still played basketball, I still did athletics, and they started clashing, but I managed to kind of make them work somehow. And then ninth grade came, and this time now they were clashing for reals. Like there would be weekends whereby I would have to choose between basketball and athletics, and I wouldn't know which one to choose. Maybe you find that it's like the provincial league, and then basketball is kind of like also provincial related. So I get stuck in that one. So the reason now I left athletics was because first of all I was the team captain of it. I was like my team's captain, so I felt like if I chose athletics, it would have been more of a selfish decision to do. And by that point, we were playing for the provincial team, so it's more like based on the two. One was for the team, and one was individual. So I chose to stay with the team, and then I started progressing with that. Regardless of my height, I mean, when you think basketball, you're thinking height. The person must be tall, and all of that. And then when I went to my 10th grade, I got invited to this other camp. They call it Basketball Without Borders. So what they basically do is like choose best players from all different countries in Africa and just get them in one place. It's like a really beautiful basketball platform to like showcase skills, learn a lot, and all that. So I became a part of that, and then grade 11 I played for the under 16 national team, and I guess that's where I got that's where I got scouted, and my coach who was still coaching, he's still coaching at Verts, and then I actually realized that I could use basketball as a vehicle to actually study with it. And and then matric, I got an opportunity so with that Basketball Without Borders, they choose like now kind of like a few players from the one in Africa to represent Africa in the global Basketball Without Borders. So I got to be a part of that along with other 4 girls from Africa. Yeah. So it was like, I think that was one of my highlights, because you're not just representing South Africa, you're representing Africa, you're representing the level of basketball that is from South Africa, from Africa, and you have to showcase. Obviously the pressure is there, you want to do good, you want to prove that there's a reason they chose you. And as much as they believed in you, you were also able to see that and execute when it was time to. And then, from then on, then I came to Verts, and I'm still playing. And I still managed to make the national team for varsities. And last year we went to this games called Cooksa Games, and we unfortunately came second. But it was a great experience overall, I would say.
Wow, interesting. That's very entertaining. Okay. I'm wondering, how did you get into the Vets basketball team?
Oh, like I said, like I got scouted when I was in 11th grade by a coach who was here still, like he's still here coaching at Vets. Yeah, and that's how we started talking about me playing at Vets.
Okay, interesting. So, what do you say? What does basketball mean to you?
It means, I can't put a specific word to it, but just being in like the environment. First of all, it's a team sport, so most principles that you learn from there are like they're important for life itself. Like first of all, it's a team. We gotta work towards one goal. We gotta communicate. First thing, there are obviously different heights during the game where maybe you might want to say something to a teammate. You don't want to say it in a way that now takes away the message that you're trying to put in. Not like there are fights when like maybe like let's say a play is not working or everything is not going according to your plan. You have to deal with the pressure of, and then you have to learn that if you make a mistake during the game, you can't do anything about it, just have to move on. So all the principles that are kind of like important for your life, there you can learn them from there. Like it builds your character, and again, being competitive, you want to win. That builds your your mentality that I'm here to win. So you leave it all on the floor.
Okay.
Beautiful. I just got to one thing that you said there, that when you have made a mistake, you gotta learn to just move on. I mean, like, you can't stay in the same mistake. Yes, I have made this mistake, but why am I wasting time on the same mistake? Why am I staying there? You know, that's beautiful. I just want to learn more about some of the hardest, maybe, struggles that you have faced in life, maybe with regards to the basketball. You know, maybe there was a time when you had to make choices, difficult choices. Yeah, just if you have any of those ones.
I'd say more the difficult choices. Well, eventually they faded away. Was where but at the stage where I was still in like high school, it was more isolating in a way that I had practice every day, and I would want to do some of the stuff that like my peers were doing, like go out on weekends, would have games, and I guess those were the small sacrifices that I made, and somehow I envied like at the stadium where I was practicing, like right next to it was a park. So after school, some of the learners would go and chill there, you know, buy snacks. When you're looking from afar, it looks very nice. You want to be a part of it. And then my coach noticed that I have that thing of like I want to join him, and then he said something that is like it stuck with me even till now. Like he said, don't try to be like them when they're trying to be like you.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand what he meant at the time, because I'm like, who would want to be like me? I mean, they are the cool guys. Everyone wants to be like them. But then now looking back, years later, the very same people who were chilling, doing all these things that I wanted to do, most of them were exposed to like maybe drugs or the kind of lifestyle that is not healthy. So yes, I did not understand at the time, but like now I did. So more of like, so along the way, now it didn't become like hard decisions that I had to make. I think one of the hardest, it wasn't the hardest, but more risky decision that I made was when I played for the national team under 16, and it was towards June's exam. So we played just before exams. We were supposed to go there, but then for the week, I think I had to miss about 3 weeks of school, if not 2.5 weeks of school, because we had to have a training camp where all the players come together, and then we had to go to the tournament, and then I would have missed like 2 of my exams. Yeah, and I do put my values in order. Like it's my spiritual life, my education, basketball, obviously my family. Like it's just a whole of everything. So when I got to that, it's like, now what are you picking? Are you picking basketball over your academics or whatever? But then had I not been in the national team, I would have not gotten a scholarship to come to Wits. So it's one of those things that you take the risk and it pays off. So I guess from that time, it didn't become a thing of I'm making a hard decision because of basketball. It's easier now. I wouldn't call it making hard decisions. It's like just choosing within your values.
You said something that really stuck with me. I just want to reiterate it to the viewers out there to say that success can and will be lonely. You know, she said it perfectly when she was like, there were times when she felt like she was isolated. You know, there were times when she felt like she wanted to do the things that everyone was doing, but then she felt lonely. She felt like she was by herself. You know, that was just a beautiful thing. That was a beautiful thing that you said.
Thank you.
Okay. What you said, well, for me personally, it's not only motivating, but inspirational. It inspires me in a way that, well, personally, I know that I can't focus on a lot of things. I can only focus on one thing and then execute. But I'm inspired to consider also focusing on other things so that I can achieve like she did. Well, to be honest, I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Like I'm inspired. To be honest, I am really inspired. I am inspired. So I want to know, since you mentioned something about you getting a scholarship to VETS, so how do you manage between your studies and basketball?
Oh yeah, that's the common question that I get. Obviously, every student in VETS knows that it's kind of like courses, kind of hectic. It needs all your commitment and everything. You gotta push in your time properly. So, to be honest, it's like by the grace of God, because I don't know how I make it work right now, but it's a thing of when you to think about it, like being like, I don't know, obviously majority of students, say I give you like an assignment, I'm saying is due in 3 weeks time, maybe 80% of the students are going to start when there's like 1 week left, and you have maybe that 2% that's going to do it right away. When they get it, they start working on it. So it's not, when you look at it, you're like, where do you find the time? But then there is time. You just have to know how, like, what, if you're able to account for your time. Because when you feel like you have enough time, that's actually when you relax and you're not working at a rate that you would have if you knew that you had something due. If you know you were writing an exam tomorrow, you wouldn't study as if like the normal way that you'd be studying, you'd be committed. So I'd go to, it's not like, on most days I have everything towards basketball every single day, like of the week. Like Monday and Wednesday I have gym, Tuesday and Thursday I have practice, Friday to Sunday it's games.
Yeah.
So it's more of like, I go to practice, when I come back from practice I'm like, oh my god, people are probably studying, I should get on my work, like I have a lot of work to do. So that pressure makes me study at like, I don't know, at a rate that is kind of like, gets me disciplined in a way, because I feel like I don't have enough time like other students do. But then yeah, so I guess that's how I make it work. But again, it's healthy. I mean, it's a payoff to keep healthy.
So you think there'll be a different, let's say you stop playing basketball maybe. So do you think there's gonna be a difference in how you study compared to now that you play basketball?
Yes, because I'd feel like I have time and then I'll relax. Like it's not a thing of, oh, I want to relax right now. It's in you. You feel like, when you feel like you have time, I feel like you're naturally gonna want to relax. But if you feel like you don't have time, then you're gonna study in a different,
Yeah, I can perfectly echo that, to say that most of the time, I mean, when I was a student, I feel like when they give you an assignment to say that it's due in a month, you only start doing it a week before, because you felt like you had all the time in the world. But then when you realize that flip, it's due next week, then that's when you start doing it, and it's crazy. I mean, we do it all the time. But yeah, I just wanna, before the show, we spoke about something that I just wanted the viewers to hear. I asked you about a quote that that inspires you, and you said beautiful things, which one of them was from the Bible, and the other one was from something that you have learned in your life. So would you mind just repeating that to the viewers? What are the quotes rather, now that I've heard you mention too? What are the quotes that inspires your life, that drives your passion, that drives your whole life?
The first one, like it's Bible based, is it says, "Greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world." So it's obviously like from the Bible, that God lives inside of you. So it comes every single time I'm having those doubts, like I'm doubting myself. I'm like, no, I can do it. Greater is He that is in me. Like it's always that my go-to, like that one thing that pops up in my mind every single time I'm trying to doubt myself. And the second one is, it's a quote, and it says, success has nothing to do with your feelings. Because yes, you want to get to somewhere, but like you won't feel like doing it. Sometimes you don't feel like going to practice, but you gotta do it. All the things that require you to get to where you want to go, they're gonna require some level of commitment. The things, the energy that you feel like you don't have, and all of that. So it wouldn't be about, oh, I'm feeling like doing this today. It's gonna be like, you need to get it done. That's it. So.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. I have a question, but it's gonna be like I'm deviating from what you are talking about here. But I'm interested, and I'm sure since you have made it to the national team and you also play for the first team, I'm sure that there are some people out there, even our viewers, that like to know, is there any person that a basketball player that you look up to?
Yes, there is. His name is Russell Westbrook. The reason I look up to him is because of the position that he plays. I also play that position, but also his style of play. Like him being, explosive, aggressive. In every single game, he's consistent in that, and it's very inspiring to see someone who's not complacent and saying, "Oh, I'm playing every single day." It's more of like, if this was your last game, how would you play it? Like, just leave it all on the floor. So that's why I look up to him.
So would you say, Justin, just saying that he has that mentality that if that was his last game, how would he play? So how would the show be if you thought that this was our last show?
That's a very good one. Thank you for that question. That was really unexpected. And yeah, thank you so much for that question. I feel like if today was the last show, was our last day, I feel like it will still be the same, because we are all about lived experiences, we are all about sharing wisdom. We are all about doing that, So if today was our last day, to be honest, it will still be the same. And I would be super honored that we, as the Erudition Show, got a chance to share with the world all these lived experiences, to share with our viewers, I've gotten a lot of, we have gotten rather, a lot of views, a lot of comments on our social media to say that the work that you guys are doing, it's really beautiful. And I just want to put it out there to the viewers right there that we are really inspired by those words. It inspires us a lot. We are really grateful for those words. So, most of the greatest lessons that we have gotten as individuals, as you as a viewer, you've gotten them from your own lived experience, which is what the show is about, sharing wisdom through lived experience. So I'm really grateful that you asked the question. Hey, I'm really glad.
And by the way, to our viewers, this is not our last show.
No, it's not.
We still have some shows which are coming, which are going to inspire you, and we're going to teach each other how to navigate through life. Okay. So I have a question for you. I hope this doesn't feel like an interview. What's your next move like from here? What's your next move?
Obviously, I don't have it all figured out yet,
Okay.
but I'd love to be a part of a movement that changes the education system. I feel like it would be great if within it we created mindsets that want to create and not want to be served but serve. So, like, you'd find that sometimes it's not the students or just the kids in general's fault that they think, oh, I need to go to school, I need to get a job, and start a family, all that. It's kind of like a stigma, like that's like you need to go to school. The only way to succeed, it's like that's what they think. The only way to succeed is if you're in school. But then I feel like there should be like a difference. The difference that should separate people, let's say, that went to, let's say, maybe varsity and those types of things should be like those who get the privilege to be like here, maybe like at varsity, they should be the creators. I don't know if that makes sense. More like you are well equipped to be the creator. You don't have to think, oh, I need to get a job. Why not be the one to say, oh, I need to give jobs? Because there are people who did not get the same privilege that you got. In a B, you are studying like you're studying to be an accountant or a civil engineer or whatever. What can you use with what you learned to kind of like, I mean, give back? Because the way I feel like our education system is set up is like they obviously most of the time you're given what to think, and not most of the time. It's not everyone who maybe maths is going to be relevant to them or all of that. But I feel like there maybe there could be a culture of teaching people that you don't go to school to just get a degree, get a job, but more of like learn, explore your mind. Yes, obviously you can't do it without getting imparted with knowledge. That's the reason we come into school. But then changing the whole idea that you're coming to school to learn how to execute that to make a difference. So I feel that's and obviously with kind of like considering the Industrial Revolution, more of like obviously being a part of the journey to kind of like get into that transformation.
There's one last thing that I want you to say. If you get an opportunity to be on national TV and everyone is watching, what would you say about your journey?
God is great. I think that's the one thing that I'd say. I mean, I don't have to base it on other people or everything. That's my own testimony through everything. When you can't put a word to how something happened or like all of that, like I don't know. Well, not to all people because some people are atheists, but like that's my one thing. I just know that if the whole nation is watching and I have to say something, I just tell them God is good. It's great.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for being a part of the Erudition Show. We have enjoyed this conversation with you. I have some lived experiences, something that I live with me to say that I don't live my life entirely for myself, because I believe that my lived experiences are worth to be shared with the world, and this is what the Erudition Show rather is all about. We share lived experiences of us as young people, and through all of that, we bring it to you. We bring words of wisdom to you, and we are so excited. We are so happy that you are watching. We are grateful that you are watching, and you are getting the lessons that are being shared by our every week's guests. Thank you so much for that. We are the Erudition Show every Thursday, 20:30 CAT. Just catch us then.